Well, hello there, my name is Vladimir, welcome to my home studio. This is a video that I've been waiting to make for quite a while because we are checking out my Rev Dynamis 740 head. Even though if you know Rev the Dynamis might be something that you're not familiar with, because Rev is best known for the high gain amps, the Generator 740 and 120 and the 100p recently as well. And obviously the G3 pedal too, but this is something a bit different. The Dynamis definitely goes for maybe some more vintage oriented sounds, but without kind of sacrificing the crazy versatility the Rev amps are known for, and this thing is no different in that. This probably won't be a short video, I don't know, I'm just shooting it right now. So just in case, go and grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea or whatever favorite beverage you have, and we'll get started. Let's get to the basics first. 2 channels, clean channel, dirty channel, effects loop, 6v6s in the power stage. Both of the channels can be either 40 watts or 7 watts. Awesome foot switch, MIDI controllability, and probably I'm forgetting something, but you start to get the idea of how much this amp packs. I got my amp custom ordered, which means I got to choose the finish on this, and I went for this, I think they're calling this carbon tweed. It looks like this dark grey tweed, but it's actually Tolex, and this finish is really cool because it doesn't have the kind of downsides of the tweed, meaning it just collects a lot of dirt and it becomes pretty awful after a while, but it certainly looks like tweed and it's really cool. I love the finish matching with the white knobs and the white panel. I wanted those specifically as well, and it's just really cool. The LED or the main light over here changes colors when I switch to a different channel. As all things Rev, this thing is built in Canada and it means high quality. This amp is just awesome build quality wise, everything feels super sturdy, maybe minus a couple of things that I'm going to mention later. On the back side there's a bunch of different speaker outputs, there's the effects loop, there's a control for solo boost, there's a send level control for the effects loop, this is where you plug in the foot controller, as you can see there. There's MIDI in, as I mentioned, you can control the amp with MIDI, and if you have a Rev cabinet, you can plug that into the cap lighting input, I don't know which one it is basically, and when the color on the amp or the LED color on the amp changes, when you change the channel, it will change on the cap as well. It's a kind of silly detail, but also really cool one. The amp also gives you external bias points for the power amp tubes, which is really nice if you know what you're doing. On the front panel you'll find the normal and low inputs, and low input is meant, according to the manual, for guitars that have really high output pickups. Just in case you really want your clean channel to be clean, then you would use the low input. 3-band EQ, volume and reverb control for both of the channels. Both of the channels have their separate 7 or 40 watt switches, not that one, this one. Then there's the reverb control, which is kind of channel independent, not channel independent. It works separately for both of the channels. So on the clean channel, actually we're on the drive channel right now. Now that we are on the clean channel, we can set the decay setting on red, which is kind of third setting of the reverb, so most decay. And when we switch to the red channel, we can have the reverb completely off. If you go back to the clean channel, it's on again. So that's really cool. There's also a bright control for both of the channels. Again, they work independently, but something might have happened during shipping because the LED on my amp has been kind of malfunctioning every now and then. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The Rev guys are sending replacement stuff to me already, and they've been just amazing handling this whole thing, so no minus points for that. This stuff just happens sometimes, and because my amp was a little bit late from the delivery time, the guys are just so busy, everybody's been ordering the amps and the pedals, that once this was ready they used the fastest shipping available, and the amp was delivered from Canada to Finland to me within like 36 hours or so, which was absolutely ridiculous. So I don't really mind if the LED is broken, the function still works, it's just something silly happening with the LED right now. On the drive channel, not only it has the same controls, I also, by the way, love that both of the channels have separate reverb controls. The drive channel also has, or the red channel, let's say that way, it has a dynamic control, again, kind of 3 gain stages, we'll check those out later, plus a contour switch, which kind of, to me, feels like it shifts where the middle kind of lives on the amp. I'll demonstrate that soon as well. And that's about it on the amp side of things. Then there's the Footswitch, which allows you obviously switch between the channels, but also in this mode you can switch between 3 stages of the gain, which is pretty awesome. Then there's the solo boost, you can turn the reverb on or off, you can turn the effects loop on or off, and there's also a global mute switch which mutes the amp obviously. And not only that, but by holding this foot switch we go into the preset mode, and all of these 6 switches become presets that you can now store, which is ridiculous. As you can see, I have stored all kinds of settings here. Whoa, there's even reverb sound going on. So yeah, all of these 6 buttons function as presets, and that's pretty awesome. I've done a gig or 2 using just the amp and the foot switch presets because I can get pretty much all of the sounds I want from this combination alone. Alright, let's get into the sounds. Somebody might say, finally, and I actually agree. It's a nice amp to listen to. Clean channel, no reverb, nothing like that, no bright switch or anything. My VHC self-made semi-hollow thing with Sheptone 68 pickups, 2-notch Torpedo Live from the amp over there. In the Torpedo Live I'm using the closed back 4x12 by Revv amplification. So from Revv into Revv, basically the clean channel sounds like this. Nice wrong chord there. Let's add the reverb, the first setting. More reverb, aka decay setting number 2. As you can hear, the tail is kind of longer. Not like that, this is how you play it. And the last one. I've been trying to analyze this reverb, and as you can hear, especially if we increase the reverb even more, it's almost like there's some sort of delay happening as well. Let's say on a major this time. Basically it's like, it's really nice, and it's somewhere in the signal path where it doesn't seem to be in the way. You can get like really ambient sounds with it. A really nice reverb that's super usable, and again you can kind of program it into the presets as well, either when using this as a preset switcher or via MIDI, and that's just super convenient. Let's check out the bright control. That doesn't unfortunately work properly, but we'll be able to hear it anyway. So for this type of sound you might actually want to engage the bright. Oh, you might have catched the LED blinking. It's kind of almost alive. Come on, wake up, wake up. Anyway, that will be fixed soon, but as you can hear, it works. And having a bright switch with a guitar like this is really nice, because this is a dark sounding guitar, and you can just get that extra little spank, for lack of a better term. You can also nicely overdrive the channel or get some power amp distortion by especially switching to 7 watts. This is also a demonstration of the 7 watts. So we can crank the volume if we want to. Let's take down some of the reverb. And that's pure power amp distortion, because there isn't anything, like there isn't a gain knob on this thing, or on this channel to be precise. I don't think I'm able to drive this without changing one of the settings on the 40 watt mode, but it's pretty much the same, just louder. Let's move on to the drive channel, like this. I'm going to, well, actually, I'm going to keep the reverb, it's nice. So the 3 dynamic settings, the lowest one, gain on half. Again, I might want to engage the bright switch for this guitar. Yeah, it opens up nicely. First dynamic setting, gain on full. Sorry, that was a very Henning thing to do, but you spend enough time with him and some of the awesomeness or stupidness, something like that, kind of, it catches, it's contagious, that's how you say it, I think. Second dynamic setting. dynamic setting. Nice sounds bad playing. And the control switch. That is really weird riffing, but it gets into kind of, without like any boost or anything, I think you can get into like Judas Priest territory. Like and if you have a boost, let me roll down the volume. This is a Caline Pure Sky, I dropped something else. Caline Pure Sky Overdrive plugged into the amp. As you can see, a little bit of gain boost, a little bit of treble boost, cutting out some of the bass. Without it, it's not a metal amp and it's not meant for metal, but it gets like Van Halen-ish, Judas Priest-ish, like classic heavy rock slash hair metal slash tones. I don't know, something like that basically. Let's check out some of the functionalities of the Footswitch. On the clean channel, it's basically just the clean channel, and let's check out what you can do with the Footswitch. I'm on the clean channel and there's nothing really else you can do with it from there except turn on the reverb, on or off. You can have the effects loop on or off. You can mute the whole thing. I'm not sure why the solo boost doesn't do anything. I haven't checked the manual how it's supposed to be set up. Because there isn't kind of any kind of volume boost happening when I do this. I'll check it out and write it here what it's supposed to do and how you're supposed to set it up. Greetings from the editing desk. I messaged the Rev guys about the solo boost and they said that it's not really meant to be a solo boost in the sense that it would boost like 10 or 20 decibels. Instead it's meant to be kind of a thing that gives you just a little bit of extra, you know, like boosting the channel just a little bit, and it's more effective on the red channel than on the blue channel, but that's about it really. It's like a slight boost, not a solo boost in the sense that it would increase the volume huge amount. So nothing's broken, it works just fine. I just didn't understand the whole thing completely. When we go to the red channel, this is really cool. Green means it's the lowest of dynamic range. When we hit it again, we go to the second and the third one, and again there's the reverb and effect. Okay, here it does work, so Again, you can turn off the reverb. Interesting, it gets a little bit louder when the effects loop is off. I don't have anything plugged into the effects loop, so I guess it makes sense, it's out of the circuit. And again the mute. So that's really nice. If we hold the Footswitch number 1, we are now in the preset mode. And now I can kind of configure, let's go for a clean sound with some lush reverb. Like that. And you can see that it's blinking, the light that's obvious, I don't know why I'm saying that. And to save it, I'm just going to click it again, and that's it. This thing I have on the back to hold this up is just failing me right now. Bear with me. But it's now saved. Now we go to the preset number 2. That can be our ambient sound or kind of ambient rhythm sound. I like that already. Let's go to the 3rd preset, and from here let's have kind of a high gain sound zone with the contour on. Bright switch and most of the delay. And we'll save it. And now we have 3 sounds. The rhythm clean, the ambient, the stuff that the amp doesn't save are all of these knobs, and it kind of makes sense because, especially if you could save the volumes, when you go to different venues and such, that would be a big problem. You would have to go through all of the presets you have and adjust the volume of each of those individually. The same goes when, for example, if you're switching guitars, you can just EQ the channels for that guitar, and that EQ will affect every preset. It has obviously some limitations, like let's say gain control position wise, or how much reverb you have. But for example, for the lead sound, if I wanted to make this really subtle, I could switch to decay setting number 1, and it immediately is much more out of the way. So you can play a lot with the decay setting as well to kind of give you different stages of ambience basically. And again, all of this can be controlled via MIDI as well, which is super nice. The amp takes the pedals really well as well, and if you have some sort of MIDI switcher, you can create kind of awesome setups where with a single press of a button you can switch the channels on the amp and engage or disengage some of the pedals and stuff. I happen to have a video called My New Life Setup where I have the Boss MS3 as the kind of control center of my rig, and that switches in a couple of pedals and the channels on the amp and adds a bunch of different effects, and that's just super convenient. But I would also be happy to do a gig with just the Footswitch because of the ability to store 6 different presets, and that's more than enough for me for most occasions. So I've had the amp for about 2 months now, and I've been playing a lot. You've seen it in many of my videos, and I can easily just say that I love it. It's an awesome amp. It still kind of keeps surprising me how versatile it is and how it works even with this guitar, which is usually really challenging because it's a dark sounding guitar and some of the amp's EQs don't respond well when I try to kind of tackle those issues that come up with it being so dark. But with this guitar and this amp, it works really well, as you just heard. It just sounds great. As I mentioned, the amp feels super high quality, except these little MIDI switches. Like, some of them are nice, but the ones they use, the kind of ones that return back to whatever, they're sometimes a little bit difficult to press. And at first they felt a bit flimsy. They don't feel like they will break or anything, but they could be maybe a little bit bigger. And the contour switch, if I kind of pull it in a slightly wrong angle, it doesn't work. So if there's something I would improve about this amp, is maybe getting slightly bigger switches that are a little bit more kind of, I don't know, sturdy feeling, I guess. But I haven't heard people complaining about these. They seem to last well, so I don't see that as a huge issue. But just something I wanted to mention. Minus the slight annoyance of these switches and the broken LED that will be fixed soon, I just love the amp. It's super versatile. It kind of nails exactly the sounds I want to have from an amp. And as I mentioned, it takes pedals as well. So as a gear demo guy, this is a perfect thing to have in my home studio. The amp is light enough for me to want to carry it to rehearsals because the sounds are awesome, and because I have the Torpedo Live, I don't necessarily need to have a cabinet with me either, so that's really cool. And just overall, I think the amp is kind of perfect marriage of vintage oriented sounds with kind of digital controllability. That's a tough word to pronounce for me. Because these controls are kind of digital and you can save them, so there is kind of internal switching going on, but the sounds themselves are analog and it's just so good. I know Henning says that the clean channel on this amp is one of the best he's ever played, and while I haven't tried as many amps as he has, it's just great. The thing that surprised me was the awesomeness of the drive channel. I had some hints that it might be really good, but honestly it's much better than I even expected. It's kind of exactly the kind of modded Marshall-ish tone that I absolutely love. Thanks for watching my video on the Rev Dynamis head. I tried to cover everything the amp does. If I missed something, feel free to ask questions down below in the comment section, and I'll try to respond to them as well as I can. If you found this video helpful, useful, interesting, anything like that, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. And if you want to support what I do, get yourself a Catpic Studios t-shirt by following link below in the description as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well, and that should be pretty much it. Thanks for watching this video, I shall see you next time!